business. Oprah coming next. Once I establish this as a place of truth, oh yeah, watch.
And what I realized with the club is what makes them so mad is when you don't want to be a part of it.
Their brand of politics, I guess.
But if you can't think for yourself, then you're not really free, are you?
No, you're not. You're not. But I've been excluded. I've been excluded on Oprah, you know.
On Oprah?
On Oprah, yeah.
Let's talk about the crazy ride that is the entertainment industry, everyone. With all the drama that occurs every day, it has truly lived up to its name. The ongoing spectacle appears to have been spiced up by Ice Cube's decision to enter the fray. Do you recall how, just a few weeks into the new year, Katt Williams created a stir and all but destroyed the internet? People were picking sides and all that. Rumor has it that Ice Cube is a member of Team Katt, which raises the possibility of more shocking revelations. Can you guess whose name appeared? Oprah Winfrey, the queen herself. Yes, you heard correctly. Oprah may be among the people in the spotlight as rumors circulate that Ice Cube is implying that Katt Williams has more revelations planned. There's more, though. According to rumors, Ice Cube is implying that Oprah might be a little anxious about what Katt might reveal. If you haven't heard the rumors, Oprah has been accused of being somewhat shady and involved in some bad things. In the gossip community, the notion that she might be a little anxious about Katt Williams exposing her is causing a stir. So let's work together to solve this mystery. What is Ice Cube all about, and why is he said to get jitters? Let's begin. Okay, so you may be wondering why Ice Cube is supporting Katt Williams, especially when it appears that many of their fellow celebrities are prepared to criticize Katt in a very negative way. Here's the scoop, though. Katt Williams and Ice Cube have a long history together. They have collaborated on several occasions, forming the amusing on-screen team that we have all loved in films such as First Sunday and Friday After Next. You can tell they have that comedic magic, and their chemistry is spot on. Therefore, it's not surprising that Ice Cube supports Katt Williams. According to the rumors, Oprah has been manipulating black actors to serve the interests of the industry's elite, who use them to further their enigmatic goals. It gets even more juicy. According to the rumors, Oprah has been using her show to set up black artists for failure because she felt like it, or because her purported masters wanted her to. Crazy, huh? Apparently this has been going on for a while, but people were afraid to speak up because of Oprah. Okay, let's go back a little to the late 1990s and early 2000s, when Oprah's show was the preferred venue for black artists to market their work. You know, Oprah used to brag that she was all about giving black talent a platform and supporting them. The interesting part is that, according to the rumors, that wasn't exactly the case. Rumor has it that Oprah, despite claiming to be a huge fan of black artists, worked against them on her show. There's more drama, though. Rumor has it that Oprah shut down artists who dared to criticize her and reveal her anti-black reputation. Ludacris was the one who started this revelation party by criticizing Oprah for using her program to disparage artists' creations and essentially make them appear unauthentic. Back in 2005, Ludacris had his own encounter with her. To promote the film, Luda and the Crash Crew visit Oprah's show, correct? That sounds awesome, but Oprah had other ideas. She flatly criticized Ludacris for using the N-word in his music rather than giving him an opportunity to discuss his role. But Luda wouldn't have it. I was there for Crash, the movie, and basically she said something about not agreeing with my music, but she thought I did great in the movie, he revealed in an interview.
And basically she said something about not agreeing with my music, but she thought I did great in the movie. And of course I was up there with the whole cast of Crash, and so I didn't necessarily feel like that needed to be said. And even if you don't agree with certain songs I made, say you don't agree with certain songs, don't say you just don't agree with all of my music.
This ain't the right amount. Wait a minute, if they got this, why am I getting this? Then you start putting the pieces together and you start saying, it's not right and I'm going to speak about it.
It's gonna be in a dimension it's never been.
Yeah, it's gonna be
the greatest thing floating in 2024. Mark the words. No way. in a whole different realm of business.
This is where things go wrong. Being the astute man that he is, Luda responded with some candid remarks, but Oprah wasn't amenable. She interrupted Ludacris's return, giving the impression that he simply took the blow silently. She was able to say what she said, and then I had my rebuttal, Luda said, spilling the tea. When I saw the final show, her words were in there, but mine weren't. It appeared as though I had accepted it. The absurd thing is that the ludicrous incident involving Oprah was unexpected, which adds to its mind-blowing nature. It wasn't even the result of a personal feud. However, based on the circulating rumors, Ludacris was only the beginning, offering us a preview of what Oprah could do to unsuspecting artists simply because she feels like it. But there's more tea in the making, so keep your hats on. Do you recall Oprah's apparent attempt to disparage Michael Jackson, the king of pop, after his death? That's below the belt now. The backstory is as follows. Oprah's ascent to fame in 1993 was greatly aided by MJ, who gave her a crucial interview at his Neverland Ranch. It was a huge deal to invite Oprah into Michael's house because he was a notoriously private person. Naturally, Oprah took advantage of the interview to boast that she and MJ were practically best friends. However, after Michael's death, Oprah completely changed her mind. She made an effort to damage his reputation by drawing attention to the accusations made against him, particularly after the release of the Leaving Neverland documentary. The messy part comes when she speaks with Wade Robson and James Safechuck, who had previously accused MJ of serious crimes like assault. The crazy thing is that these accusers later took back their claims, claiming that they had falsely accused MJ and that he wasn't who they had portrayed him as. Why then did Oprah choose to LA? Unch a brand new campaign against Michael Jackson? People are speculating that Oprah might be protecting herself, which is her top priority. She seems to be more concerned with her personal goals than with the facts or the sentiments of those concerned. When Oprah took responsibility for her actions and went on the defensive, saying she was only attempting to bring attention to assault in the industry, it became even more heated. However, this is where things start to get interesting. Oprah's recent support of the #MeToo movement seems a little hypocritical. You see, she has a close relationship with Harvey Weinstein, who has been accused of sexual assault. How does that operate now? Oprah, who is supposedly an advocate against abuse, is mingling with a member of the industry who is accused of the same thing. Kadian Noble, a British actress, also discussed this. Kadian claims she was amazed when she first saw Weinstein at an event in London, where he was hanging out with supermodel Naomi Campbell, and, to top it all off, Oprah was dangling from his arm as if they were the perfect trio. When she first met Weinstein in London, she thought he had something amazing in store for her. She revealed during a press conference in Manhattan about the sex trafficking lawsuit she filed against him in Manhattan federal court the day before. As we fast forward to Cannes in 2014, she naively brought her showreel to his hotel room, assuming it would be all business. To her utter surprise, however, Weinstein showed no interest in her showreel once they were inside. Rather, he became overly affectionate and casually suggested that she be paired with a London modeling agency. What a twist in the story. Noble is the latest actress and model to accuse Weinstein of going too far by using promises of career advancement to obtain what he desired. Additionally, Oprah has been friends with this person for many years. Okay, for those who are not familiar, a brief recap. The well-known American filmmaker Harvey Weinstein became the face of the #MeToo movement, which exposed sexual abuse. After 5 years, rumors that had been circulating in the back alleys of Hollywood finally came to light. Explosive news reports revealed that Weinstein had been harassing numerous women for a very long time. The man used his position of authority like a bully, intimidating them into silence. In November 2017, Ronan Farrow revealed some important information in The New Yorker. In order to disprove the abuse claims, Weinstein went all out and hired a British-Israeli detective team named Black Cube. Imagine a complex web of espionage to keep things secret, undercover agents with phony identification, and dubious meetings with reporters and celebrities like Rose McGowan. According to reports, Weinstein had Kroll, Black Cube, and several other agencies on speed dial, all of whom were trying to learn more about dozens of people and even developing psychological profiles that probed their personal histories, including, yes, you guessed it, sexual ones. In an attempt to stop Ronan Farrow from disclosing the accusations against him, this man allegedly even attempted to drag Ronan's father, Woody Allen, into his mess. But Allen posed to ignore that one. Weinstein wasn't merely twiddling his thumbs, though. He reportedly enlisted Black Cube once more to exert pressure on reporters Jodi Kantor and Megan Twohey, who were investigating the accusations against him. Kantor claims that a Black Cube agent went undercover and attempted to use some sort of manipulation magic while posing as a supporter of women's rights. Kantor even sought assistance from Hillary Clinton, but it appears that the political situation became complicated. More than a dozen women accused Weinstein of raping or assaulting them, according to reports in the New York Times and The New Yorker in October 2017. Weinstein denied any non-consensual sex, and many other women in the film industry later reported similar experiences. These accusations led to Weinstein's expulsion from the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, suspension from the British Academy of Film and Television Arts, and termination from his production company. Leading political figures he had backed condemned him, and he resigned from the Directors Guild of America. New York and London police started looking into other claims, and the Los Angeles Police Department launched a criminal investigation. Georgina Chapman, Weinstein's wife, announced her separation from him on October 10, 2017, and their divorce was finalized in July 2021. These shocking allegations against Weinstein didn't simply go away. Rather, they sparked a national reckoning in the United States, a wave of anti-harassment sentiment known as the Weinstein effect. You have a full-blown storm when you add that to other harassment cases that occurred earlier in the year. People began coming forward one by one, sharing their own stories of hidden misconduct as a result of the Weinstein reports and the #MeToo movement that exploded on social media. This wave of accusations affected many industries, not just Hollywood. The outcome? Swift leaves for a lot of strong men, both domestically and internationally. It seemed as though the world was suddenly turning the tables on those who had been abusing their position of authority. Several of his accusers were interviewed for the 2019 documentary Untouchable. For incidents involving 2 different women, Weinstein was charged by the New York County District Attorney's Office with rape, criminal sexual assault, and misconduct. He turned himself in to the NYPD on May 25, 2018, and was taken into custody the same day. He was then freed after posting $1 million bail. He gave up his passport and was only allowed to travel to New York and Connecticut while wearing an ankle monitor. Weinstein would enter a not guilty plea, according to his attorney, Benjamin Brafman. January 6, 2020, was chosen as the date of the trial. Weinstein was also accused of raping one woman and assaulting another in Los Angeles on that same day in 2013. The Metropolitan Police officially charged Weinstein with 2 counts of indecent assault against a woman in London between July 31st and August 31st, 1996, on June 8, 2022. On February 24, 2020, a jury found Weinstein guilty of 2 of the 5 criminal charges, 1 count of first-degree criminal sexual assault and 1 count of third-degree rape, after 5 days of deliberation. He could have received a life sentence for predatory sexual assault, but the jury found him not guilty. He received a 23-year prison sentence on March 11th and was remanded to Rikers Island in New York City pending sentencing. After that, he was moved to Erie County, New York's Wendy Correctional Facility. Through his lawyers, he declared that he would challenge the decision. On September 18, 2020, Weinstein lost his honorary CBE, Commander of the Most Excellent Order of the British Empire. The Appellate Division, First Department of the New York State Supreme Court upheld the verdict and judgment on appeal on June 2, 2022. Judge Angela Maselli wrote, "We have considered the defendant's remaining arguments and find them unavailing, and we perceive no basis for reducing the sentence." He was granted another appeal before the New York Court of Appeals on August 25, 2022. Weinstein was transported to the Twin Towers Correctional Facility in Los Angeles on July 20, 2021. In October 2022, the Los Angeles trial got underway. Weinstein was accused of 11 counts of sexual battery, forced oral copulation, and rape for alleged acts that occurred between 2004 and 2013. 4 of the original 11 charges were dropped, and he was found guilty of 3 of the 7. Convictions on December 19, 2022 included third-degree sexual misconduct, forced oral copulation, and rape. For these convictions, Weinstein received a 16-year prison sentence on February 23, 2023. Instead of being served concurrently with his time in New York, his sentence in California prisons must be served consecutively to it. Is it not unbelievable? You would think someone as well known as Oprah would be avoiding Weinstein given all the crazy stuff that has been going on, wouldn't they? But here's the thing. TMZ claims that Weinstein revealed the information, claiming that Oprah pressured him to publicly defend himself. There are some eyebrows raised by that. Was Oprah really siding with Weinstein in opposition to all of these women? But wait. Oprah's team retorted that they never spoke directly and that she was only considering a TV interview.
What platforms have banned you?
I've been I tried to go on The View. They didn't have me on The View.
Why?
Well, a few of the guests just really didn't like where I was coming from. So, or a few of the hosts, I mean. So that's what I was told by the producers. I don't know if the producers was just copping out and using some of the hosts to not have me come on and explain myself, but I've been excluded. I've been excluded on Oprah.
On Oprah?
On Oprah, yeah, I've been excluded. Yeah, man.
I would think you'd be the person Oprah would want to promote. I mean, you grew up in South Central. You were successful at a young age. You have dignity. You say what you think. Like, I thought that was the goal.
Me too. I don't know what it is, but, several of my, I had a movie called Barbershop,
Yeah, I remember.
That I wasn't invited to participate with the cast. I produced a show called Black White, and it was a very controversial show. And once again, they had the whole cast on, but I wasn't invited. And so I don't know.
On Oprah's show.
Yeah.
A plot twist, eh? And look at this. Oprah touched on the Weinstein controversy during her Golden Globe speech, but she has made it clear that this cultural shift is much larger than Weinstein. While the rest of us are just learning checkers, Oprah is playing chess. Another perspective is that Oprah constantly talks about how she's a huge helper in the business and says she's the reason Black actors are successful. Hold on a second though, because the controversies that are encircling her give the impression that she is acting completely differently from what she claims to be doing. Do you recall Taraji's revelation that Oprah does not actually support Black women in the industry as much as she says? That simply heightens the drama.
I haven't seen a raise in my income since Proud Mary. And almost had to walk away from Color Purple. Yes, ma'am. Who said what? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Because you know what? If I don't take a stand, how am I making it easy for Fantasia and Danielle and Hallie and Felicia? Then why am I doing this? If it's all just for me, why are you here?
Look at Oprah. You see how she looked at Taraji and quickly looks away. And now look at Taraji. Look at her legs. She locks it away from Oprah, looking up, fluttering her eye, trying to hold back tears. But she's trying to be professional, but she leans into Oprah. Oprah pulls away. Fake laugh. We all know that's fake. That's fine.
Taraji P. Henson came forward to disclose that she was incredibly underpaid for her role in Oprah's film, The Color Purple. All right, let's dissect it. Heavyweights like Oprah's Harpo Films, Steven Spielberg's Amblin Entertainment, SGS Pictures, and Quincy Jones Productions are in charge of the remake of The Color Purple. These are the same companies that brought us the 1985 version, in which Oprah played Sophia. In the updated version, Taraji dominates the stage as Shug Avery, Fantasia plays the role of Celie Harris, and Danielle Brooks plays Sophia. The worst part is that you would think that Taraji, a seasoned professional with OUSARS, for 20 years of experience and a trophy case full of accolades, would make fair compensation easy, especially in a movie like The Color Purple where Oprah serves as producer. Surprisingly though, Taraji revealed that Oprah didn't really advocate for her or the other prominent women regarding the salary. Taraji claims that the first offer was blatantly disrespectful, and the decision-makers wouldn't change their minds until she gave them the ultimatum to abandon the project altogether.
I've seen a raise in my income since Proud Mary. And almost had to walk away from Color Purple. Yes, ma'am. Who said what? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Because you know what? If I don't take a stand, how am I making it easy for Fantasia and Danielle and Hallie and Felicia? Then why am I doing this? If it's all just for me, why are you here?
Is it not unbelievable? A formidable force, Taraji had to sacrifice herself to obtain what was rightfully hers. And here's the thing. Taraji is tired of constantly fighting for what is rightfully hers. Taraji revealed the information and made a suggestion that she might permanently give up acting in a recent heart-to-heart with Oprah's best friend, Gayle King. Why? Because she is simply fed up with the never-ending fight for equitable compensation. Taraji wasn't playing around, despite Gayle's best efforts to keep it light. When Taraji talked candidly about the continuous fight for equitable compensation that Black actresses, including seasoned professionals like herself, still face in the business, the discussion became more serious. And believe me when I say that Gayle was wriggling a little because, well, Taraji was there to promote the color purple, and this was probably not the kind of feel-good conversation they were hoping for. Gayle continued to nod and reiterate that she understood what Taraji was laying down, trying her best to get past the discomfort, but Taraji was not amenable. She revealed that she is seriously thinking of stopping her acting completely. Why? Because she's tired of working so hard, being so polite in her work, and still receiving pitiful compensation. The math ain't mathing, Taraji revealed. When the topic of pay comes up again, it's as if she never broke through a glass ceiling. This is where it became emotional. Taraji opened up, stating that she is caught in a vicious cycle of not receiving what she is entitled to, and that she wants to stand up for upcoming actresses and serve as a voice for the next generation. She explained, "I'm tired," and you could hear the weariness in her voice. "It's a frustrating cycle. I'm worn out. I'm worn out." In addition to defending herself, she is working to clear the path for those who will follow her.
I'm just tired of working so hard, being gracious at what I do, getting paid a fraction of the cost. And if I can't fight for them coming up behind me, then what am I doing? I'm sorry.
Additionally, Taraji criticized the industry's double standard, which is when they give you a lot of credit for a single project but pretend to be broke when it comes time for you to make money. Taraji's frustration with the entire game is evident in this honest and unvarnished moment. Fans were noticing that Taraji didn't seem particularly excited while promoting the color purple, even before this recent interview bombshell. The tension in the air was almost palpable, particularly in her interactions with Oprah. Fans quickly noticed Taraji's unhappiness and knew something was wrong. Everyone is talking about Taraji's recent interview on Shannon Sharpe's podcast, in which even Katt Williams supported him. He stated unequivocally that it was the saddest thing ever to hear Taraji open up about her treatment on the color purple. Imagine being at the top of your game, the big shot, the go-to person, and nobody can touch you in your lane. The worst part is that they aren't paying you what you are worth. Imagine being so high profile that, should you not be chosen for a role, no 3 Black actresses are larger than you, yet they refuse to increase your compensation, Katt said. He disclosed that he has been enduring this for a full 10 years, taking abuse and simply putting up with it. He finally came to the conclusion that we should feel ashamed because this is wrong. Furthermore, Monique spent more than 10 years accusing Tyler Perry, Lee Daniels, and Oprah of conspiring to blackball her for not doing promotional press for the 2009 movie Precious. Monique took the Apollo Theater stage and attacked Oprah Winfrey, director Lee Daniels, and Tyler Perry, claiming that they had excluded her from Hollywood. Additionally, she stated that in her opinion, the term blackballed isn't quite accurate. She put it this way, "What is that? Was that black man bald? So, no, I wasn't blackballed. Instead, some jerks with no balls whiteballed me. Mr. Lee Daniels, thank you. Mr. Tyler Perry, thank you. I'm grateful, Ms. Oprah Winfrey. See, I know they like to say, Monique, you talk too mother effing much, she went on. I'd die if I didn't say the real S-kya. You're not treating me fairly, and you're not paying me equally. If I had a D, you could bleep it.
What is that black dick connected to? That black man? So no, I was not blackballed. I was whiteballed.
If Oprah was watching this, what would you tell her?
I would say, Oprah Winfrey, you know what you need to do. And stop hiding behind what you call was negative comments, what you call, oh, I don't even deal with things like that. Because what people are beginning to do is see you for who you are. Where Oprah Winfrey and I have a problem is Oprah Winfrey called us up and she said my brother wanted to come on the show and talk about him molesting me, and he wanted to tell other parents how to look out for molesters. My brother Gerald is a charmer. So my mind thought was, because she said, do you want to come on? I said, I don't want nothing to do with that cat. I said, nigga, I know it's up to a scam, but people can change. And who am I to say he hasn't changed? It might really be different. So I don't want to get in the way of that. I just don't want nothing to do with it. She said, if you don't want me to have your brother on the show, I will cancel the show. No show will happen. But I wanted to call you up to see how you felt first. When I hung up that phone, brother, I looked at my husband and I said, that is all right with me. That's a real.
She kept it
because she didn't have to call me up. She didn't have to say my brother was coming. She could have just ran with shit and let it happen. I dig her for that. Now I begin to see commercials with my brother, my mother, my father. I got labeled as difficult because I said one word, and that was no. Now I said no to some very powerful people. What Tyler Perry showed me, Lee Daniels, Oprah Winfrey, and Lionsgate. When you don't do what we ask you to do, we'll take your livelihood.
But this isn't the only difficulty that Monique is facing at the time. So while she's getting backlash because she wasn't playing the game, Monique had been betrayed by somebody that she never saw coming. This is where things shift from professional to deeply personal.
What happened?
And we begin to talk about our relationships with our mothers and our fathers. And I shared my relationship with her about my mother, as she shared hers with me, which I will never repeat because she shared it with me about her mother and father. It might be something she shared with everybody, but wanted to make me feel special. I don't know. Nonetheless, it was in our moment. I shared with her that me and my mother was not talking. I shared with her we were in a really bad place. I shared with her I was hurt and, trying to figure this thing out. She never said my mother was coming on that show, because had Oprah Winfrey said, I'm gonna have your mother, I would have said, shut it down. I don't need the world seeing how greedy my mother is.
For background, Monique had planned to go on a press tour for the 2009 film Precious, which was co-produced by Tyler Perry and Oprah. They wanted to capitalize on the excitement surrounding her Oscar nomination, but the worst part was that they had no intention of paying her for the tour, and she was already exhausted from filming. Monique made the decision to take a break with her family and forego the tour. The call appeared to be simple, and everyone appeared to accept it. I'm doing a talk show, I'm doing a comedy tour, I have a husband, and I have babies, she said. I'm going to make the most of my brief period of free time. I am therefore not going anywhere because I am under no obligation to do so. I've fulfilled my obligation. Thus, we both decided to disagree. That was it. The next thing I know, I'm viewed as challenging to collaborate with. After a few weeks, media reports begin to surface portraying Monique as challenging to work with. Suddenly, even though she won an Oscar for her performance in Precious, no one wanted to cast her. Imagine all of your effort being wasted. When Monique realized someone was trying to harm her, she began to piece things together. She revealed in a recent interview with The Hollywood Reporter that Lee Daniels, the director of Precious, acknowledged she was banned from the game because she didn't play it. Monique has gone so far as to criticize Oprah and Tyler Perry, demanding an apology that, as far as we know, has yet to come. Well, well, well. It appears that Ice Cube may have a clue. Since Oprah has offended many people in the industry, there are rumors that she is terrified of what Katt Williams might reveal. Even more sinister things that we aren't yet aware of are being hinted at by the grapevine. Who knows? Perhaps Katt will soon reveal the truth. However, I'm curious about Yo. Your thoughts on this entire drama. Let's continue this discussion by leaving your thoughts in the comments section. See you in the upcoming video.